just,
I stand by my weed excuse.
Yeah, no, I think that there's it can be both things. It can be
it's
both
nice.
things.
It's nice to get the Patreon portion of the show out of the way, right?
Out of the way first, right there.
Knock it out.
And this is the regular portion, the freebie.
Hang on, he's joining us now. He's fresh from the McConaughey. Seminar. Wait,
wow, he's still in uniform.
His mic doesn't work, but that's all right because he's communicating to us through his eyes and his senses, other vibes, man. It's the whole thing's a fucking true vibe, man. Just let it fly, dude.
There we go. Hey, man.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's go. Come on.
Man.
Hey, man, what are deadlines anyway?
Yeah, that's right.
Deadlines start with dead, man. I'd rather do a line. Send me some fucking money.
Boy, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you want to go right into it, but
I think it worked. The
reviews are in.
I feel like it worked.
I got a to-go cup, but it's better to have a home glass. They're not all gems.
Well, I mean, just the stats that I picked up today when I looked at it, 2.4 million people tuned in.
Nice. Good for him.
I didn't see one positive response from people who made it to the end. I didn't go through all 2.4 million, but there were multiple, like, this is a cash grab, infomercial, bullshit.
All of them say something.
Yeah, man. Hey, some road trips are more expensive than others. That's all.
Dude, hit that bongo when you're talking.
He didn't ask for money. He just said, hey, man, you want to go on a road trip with me and one of these positive speakers, and it's going to cost you a little bit, food and all that shit. $4,500 for happiness. Shit.
That was the estimated cost, the value of the 8-week seminar was 4,500.
For 4,500. That's a fucking bargain.
Oh no, but it's like you get I think there's a road trip, but there's also like there's a couple of things here and there. 4,500. Jesus,
rent's higher than that.
You're getting this $4,500 value.
Well, what's happiness?
$437.
You put a price on happiness?
Yeah, $4,500.
Yeah, $4,500.
I was really stoned, and it started off with a lady, she could tell she had a lot of energy, but her mic didn't start. Like, it was dead for the first couple of minutes, which is hilarious. And then it was a bait and switch, man. You thought it was going to be this other thing, and then it was like, here's me and Tony hanging out. I'm like, fuck that guy. But
wait a minute, that's not a bait and switch. He told you in advance that Tony Robbins was going to be part of it.
One of the featured
features. When he got to this bait and switch.
I knew it was a
sales pitch. Here's Tony Robbins.
Yeah, and now here comes Tony Robbins to sell you on some shit.
You signed up for a thing you were already knew.
I think I made it.
Now you're mad that they delivered exactly what.
No, I made it
audience at a Sean Rouse show. You're mad because he's doing his rape jokes.
It was this.
This movie is full of dogs.
This movie dogs is full of dogs.
He could have had dogs because he had fake people there. He had like all these screens, and then, hey, we're doing this, and then stadium full of people cheering.
He did have a laugh track and an applause.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Not excellent.
You trust anything?
That's bullshit.
The genesis of a new medium and a new direction that we're all going to go. This is it.
I don't think this is it.
Get on board or not. That's fine. You guys don't want to do it.
That has really fucking leaned into this. I mean, you really
makes perfect sense.
You drank the fucking Kool-Aid a long time ago, and you're not letting it go.
My favorite part of our enlightened leader is when he was reading, hey, tell me why you're here today. What are you seeking? And then he's like, happiness, peace of mind.
Hit the fucking drum, man.
More money, more happiness.
Don't go lightly into the night, Andy.
Butterfly.
Play those goddamn bongos. If you learned anything from McConaughey, who did pick up I don't know what drum that is. It's not a bongo.
I got him.
You do. He's not. He's playing.
Where did you get that drum?
David's.
Yeah.
I went road trip down to see my brothers, Larry and David, see how Larry, get the firsthand account of his surviving a fire.
Did you get the drum to bring onto the podcast to play?
I asked David if he had a bongo he was didn't want or was getting rid of, and he said it. He goes, this one, but you can sell it for 200. So if anyone is interested in total enlightenment.
My point is, if you brought a drum onto the podcast to play, why are you not playing it?
Yeah.
Well,
you can't start off with a bongo. You got to
he's
bring
done
it in.
this. He's tapped it, but no, we haven't heard
the back of a chair until he held it up.
I don't think you paid enough attention to the.
Hey, he talked about a road trip before he even made this trip. This thing, pitch about the road trip. He talked about, hey man, you get through them lights and everything, and then you got to take a road trip. And then I was like, fuck yeah, I think I'll take a road trip. So that's why I went down to Coos Bay.
See,
but I did not sign up for the 8-week course. I went and did it, got high. And I just went and had a little road trip, and that's exactly. I should be teaching this. That's why I got the bongos. I think I'm going to teach this motherfucker.
Okay,
make it a little cheaper.
Got a franchise.
Hey, you want to help? Get a T-shirt. I got mediums on stock.
So far, you could do it without the drum.
Yeah, the trip to get the drum was a wasted trip. Because you still aren't playing it, even though
we're going to learn. I mean, I just got it. So David was like,
well, let me give you a lesson, Andy. To play a drum, you hit the drum. No, let's hear it.
Does it make a noise? Does it make noise?
That's how you do. That's if you want people to pay attention, you can't drum rhythm. You got to just all of a sudden hit it once. That's how I do my cold. I wouldn't be like banging along with people's suggestions. I just go, we're having a meeting. Let's go. That's it, man. That's a signal.
You have to hear the smack.
It doesn't make any noise. He sold you a fake drum, bro.
New into this.
That's a column, not a drum.
It's a what?
Hey, Tony Robbins is here. Come on out, Tony. Hey, you notice how he sounds a lot like Alex Jones now? I mean, maybe you didn't listen to him, but the voice of that dude.
Tony Robbins?
Yeah, Tony, his voice sounds like Alex Jones. I think if you say enough
like
bullshit.
Gravelly?
Yeah. You could, just his casual voice, not his yelling shit. All right, now I'm ready to podcast. Let's go, man. What's the subject matter?
Get that fake drum out of the way.
I got it's a real drum. I just don't have any skill set. I have no rhythm. I got guilty feet.
Proving that's for sure.
my guilty feet over the years have taken away my rhythm.
I get you, careless whisper. I feel you.
I kind of wanted to go down too because my brother David's wrapping up his chemo, but Larry had a fire, and I wanted to go, see what the hell, because he's only in a small space. So how could Larry have his little space engulfed in flames and him be a survivor? And he explained it. I still don't get it, but I think I might have a little footage of it.
Larry, to me, doesn't seem like a cat who has fire extinguishers at the ready.
He did first. Okay, so what happened is he was asleep in his chair. Oh, okay. Well, I went to go visit Larry. I went to go up to Larry's got a real sketchy area. I mean, he's got his trailer. There's another trailer with a young couple that are in love and smoking meth and all the good times that are there. But anyway, I went there and I went to Larry's little trailer, and his door was flapping open and the screen door was open, and I could look in there and see him, and he's sitting 3 feet away, and I go, "Hey, Larry. I said it maybe 10 times different ways. Larry.
You want to announce yourself so it doesn't look like a breaking and entering.
Well, and plus I heard his new dog is a biter. So I didn't want to meet him that way neither. So I'm not going in there. I just stay outside the door. And Larry, he's not
3 feet away.
He might be dead. I'm kind of, I looking, is he breathing? And I couldn't tell. And I went and smoked a joint. I was like, either way.
But you took a break?
Well, I was going to smoke a joint, and then I was like,
in between the fifth and sixth Larry, he decided to fucking have a think.
I'm not a paramedic.
It's time for my break.
If he just died, what am I going to do?
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean, maybe he wanted to steel himself against what might be there.
Exactly right.
And also collect himself. And
I guess one thing I learned is I'm ready. I mean, I wouldn't have thrown me. I probably would have just said, "Well, God damn it," or whatever. But I don't think I would have had well, I think I would have thought maybe if I leave, I won't be the person who has to call this in. I couldn't go by Larry's. Why don't you check on him tomorrow, Dave?
They might wonder why you went by the scene and didn't do anything.
It gets worse though, because
fingerprints are on the doorknob.
I'm in the drive.
He forgets about Ring cameras.
right. Well, he don't have that technology.
So the neighbors could have it.
Yeah. So then I'm just getting ready to knock again, and like I said, a guy pulls up with you know how some people have a window broke out and then they just put plastic up over it. Well, that guy shows up and hollers at me to move my fucking car. Like, not like in a polite way. Like
you said
it like a tweaker
at you.
It's tweaker, it's whatever o'clock. It's not, dude, you don't have anywhere that's more important that you're at than where you're at. But he hollered, and then I left. And then as I was driving up there, I didn't have anywhere to go because Dave wasn't home. And then I decided I think I'll just drive to Bandon and go get a taco at Wilson's Market. They got these delicious tacos. Just an aimless. I had nowhere to go. So I drove up there. And then as I got there, I was thinking, oh, yeah, you should have. I mean, really, I didn't confirm that Larry was alive or not. But it's like, again, I'm not a first responder or anything.
You can do that after the taco,
but
too.
Then,
you're a first responder everywhere but at Larry's house?
Actual first response is needed.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm prepared for the worst. The worst is that he pops up and he has another day. But anyway, so then I go back a few hours later, and then the driveway, all the tweakers are partying or whatever, and I can't get there. Or I could, but I'd have to walk through pit bulls and people I don't want to talk to. So I just left it at that. But then I saw messages that Larry wasn't sure. He said he's not sure if he was hallucinating or not, but he thinks I was there. So that's a good way to leave it. Like if he, Larry thinks he's hallucinating a visit. And then I showed up the next day and I said, I heard you were fucking tripping that I showed up, man. But
wait, you're literally gaslighting him. Lying to someone to make them think they're crazy, which is what you're doing. You showed up, you said his name in the door, then you wandered off.
Yeah.
Went to go get a taco.
Went to go get a taco, as you do.
In Brandon.
30 miles away, 30 in Bandon. Yeah, just like,
30 miles away.
Yeah, just killing time.
That's an alibi right there. You're like,
they make
how could I have been
at
Larry's house when I'm clearly buying tacos on camera at the criminal jerky.
And I considered, like, should I get Larry a taco? And then, I was like, nah. I mean, he's either dead or he's.
Well, I mean, it might be you having to eat another taco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an alibi taco, really.
That's really
that's what it is.
Taco. It's a good name for the place.
Reasonable doubt. I have a reasonable doubt with a Conte.
Dead men don't eat tacos.
So the guy's alive. Everything's good.
Good.
He survived the fire.
I like that part of your story, Andy, was you being in the other role from your great, fuck the guy who wouldn't move his van from the parking spot on your street that you didn't want him parked in. You told a couple of weeks ago. Now you're the one who's parked where you're not supposed to be, and someone's telling you to fucking not park there. You're like, fuck this guy. You got no place else better to be than where you are now. So fuck off.
I think it could have been. It rattled me, and I wasn't blocking nothing. He in fact pulled around, and then and I just completely let it go. But if it had been a couple days earlier, I might have walked over there and when I saw how weak he was, I might have just started pummeling him. And I'm fucking waiting to hear some news, motherfucker. If you're yelling at me, do you know how fucking stressful this shit is? I could have punched him right through his broken fucking windows, his plastic. The first punch would have been slower than the rest of them. But once I got through that plastic, I would have just grabbed some shirt and beat the hell out of him. But anyway, I didn't. I was just like cool with it.
But Andy, did you park like an asshole?
Not where you, I mean, it's like Trailer Park Boys there. Only
where the guy rolls up and starts giving shit to the.
This is an unsane. This is there's a house with a woman who gave up her soul to tweaking years ago. And then whatever fallout her pussy his whatever pollution is like the plastic garbage dump in the ocean. That's what her lot is with people and animals. And Larry just happens to have a little corner of the paradise. And in fact, Larry went from, the outhouse to the townhouse because his trailer that got, fell down and rotted around him was a piece of shit. Now he's got a new one with some, albeit smoke damage. The parakeet lived.
There's a parakeet, not just to make sure there's no gas leak.
Or he's got like a canary or a parakeet. He's in the corner, so that's what I check on. And all right, it's cool to come in, but what happened? And I think Larry had precarious cords, and he's a bit of a hoarder, and he's kind of jammed into the control house. Like he's got a chair, his shit.
Oh, like a command center, like Captain Kirk on the bridge.
Yeah, like if Captain Kirk needed a cheese ball while he's sitting at a station, Captain Kirk would just reach down and pull those up. If Captain Kirk needed some hemorrhoid cream, it's right there on the shelf.
Right there. Within arm's reach.
Sitting in a chair while traveling through wormholes, you're going to get hemorrhoids.
He doesn't like the new Price is Right or Family Feud. And I didn't want to get in. It's not even new, but I didn't want to get into it for fear it was racist related. But it come on, he goes, "Oh, I hate that fucking he."
I don't like Steve Harvey either.
He didn't like. I know. I mean, I was willing to go a long ways with it. He's a fucking phony. He's this and that or whatever. Yeah. But I have a feeling Larry would have ruined our in-depth criticism of Harvey. Yeah, but let's save that for the epilogue, bro.
So what was what kind of fire did he have? How did you
a foot fire that moved over to a shelf.
Foot fire.
Yeah, he had a cord and then like a little man bag. I think like you get in another a stash bag maybe, like poorly made grass kind of man bag, like so he had a purse and some sort of a frayed cord going
cord into
an electrical man purse
he
doesn't
made of grass.
I don't know why he doesn't steal. I should talk to him about it. It's like,
are we playing Family Feud right now?
I think he should steal if he's gonna. I'm not saying he steals, and wherever he, I don't know how he get, probably Amazon trucks are going up that crazy driveway and up over the humps and delivering this shit to him. But like he goes, "Here, I got this for," he gave me and David presents. He didn't know we were going to show up and there were just things, but they're unopened. And he goes, "I get all this shit at the dollar store." I don't think that is a dollar. Maybe Dollar General, but I doubt it's the thought that counts anyway. So I got to, I told him I could.
Not when you steal things, it's not the thought that counts.
Let's not forget that this story is about a fire.
Okay? Yeah.
It's not lose track.
So yeah. So anyway, I guess
like this man purse right here, Andy. Is this what we're looking at?
Well,
whoa,
hey,
yeah,
that one right there.
No, his was just like a little stash bag you might get in Belize or Mexico or Hawaii or any
like a fanny bag.
A man, not even just a fucking
wallet.
Yeah, hemp wallet type thing. Anyway, whatever it was, it's no longer a purse. It wasn't his wallet because I go, "Hey Larry, just for the sake of argument, if you are burned to a cinder in this trailer, where should I reach for the good pills?" And then he went on along. He goes, "Here's my wallet." He showed me where everything is, but I wouldn't go in there to steal from Larry, especially with that dog.
So
he caught his feet. Well, the fire. Anyway, Larry wakes up and his
fire.
There's flames. His shelf is on fire. He said the flame's going up. I didn't see fire damage on the roof. But from his vantage point, sitting in a chair and the shelf is on fire and then he said he ran, but it's only 2 steps away from the chair to the sink. So I think he got up out of the chair, and then it's a whole mess there. I took some pictures, but so he said he just started throwing water on him. I don't know how, and like cups of water. I don't think he had, and then he goes, I just started throwing, and I go, well, and then how'd you get it out? And he said he threw a blanket over it. So, but he was thinking about trying to get out. He was his first thing was to get out of there. And there's no back door. I go, are you talking about like the Great White at the station? He didn't know what I meant, but I'm like, you're running backwards while the flames are that way. You're not going anywhere, man. Anyway, but Larry was asleep while the flames were licking.
Not sure I got it.
CD collection. Larry has, he's CD. I get it. He's not ready to go digital, but he had a stack of CDs that got pretty fire damaged, and he still had them there.
You didn't get your Great White reference?
No, but he lost a whole it was Super Tramp greatest hits, but it was
like more of a Black Oak, Arkansas kind of guy.
But it was volume 9. There's no how's that possible?
It had 9 volumes of
That's what it said, volume 9, and I was like, "There's no fucking way," because this has got every good Supertramp song on it.
Yeah,
I think what America
it was is every good Supertramp song.
Yeah.
I have
Logical
Supertramp
song,
greatest hits. Yeah, there's only one.
Yeah, Logical song and Breakfast in America, but he had a bunch more. But I was gonna take it and I was just gonna steal right in front of him.
I was gonna say, didn't you just say you're not gonna steal from Larry, and then you?
Well, it's kind of like picking through a fucking rummage sale that's the owner of it's dead. It's like I actually is like there's probably some gems in there. I don't know what they'd be, but yeah.
So what caused the fire?
We don't know. I think the cord. David suspects
fire CD right there behind Chaille.
David suspects
volume 9. There it is.
Yeah.
This is they suspect the cord was had some damage to it. That's why I think Larry should, those are reasons.
Wait, forensically, he went through and he had like a couple of things in the theory.
When you're sitting in a chair,
I think it's an electrical fire.
When you smoke weed, he's got a lot of possibilities. I would suspect, either one of the tweakers had there could be all number of things. Hot shoed, but we settled on it was probably a friendly incident or
but if his shelf was on fire, how are his feet on fire? Why do you have
the fire started near his feet and then went up the shelf.
What? This is some magic fire.
Is there carpeting?
He wasn't awake for any of this, so it's all speculation. And the only reason he's alive is because remember I told you he got a last call shitty dog. He went to adopt a dog and they wouldn't let him have a cool one. And then Larry just got settled for what they had given him, an 11-year-old asshole that bites people.
Saved his life.
That dog saved his life. Kept barking. Larry was hearing in a dream state, thinking he
respect.
Larry thought he was watching The Power of Dog because it was like he kept hearing this dog. and then that's what. And then he woke. The dog jumped up on him. I think the fire threatened his food dish is what David said. So the dog had to act. But it's I
think the dog started the fire so he'd get fed.
Or I called him a hero, and I gave him a little piece of jerky I had that Jeremy sends, or Jerome, sorry, but I had some of that, and this is not a dog you'd want to touch. It's like, hey buddy, or whatever. I hear you saved Larry, and I gave him some jerky, but
keep happening.
He's an asshole. You can tell this dog is, he's had it right. It's actually really fitting that these two assholes that nobody wants are saving each other in a shitty trailer.
They have to learn to work together to overcome odds to survive.
Right. Yeah,
the defiant ones.
Oh, and this was a mystery too. So Larry
came together in a swamp.
Larry told us a story, and like most of his stories, they don't really go anywhere until they do. I don't know, it's a family thing, but Larry went to a weed store, and he got an ounce of weed and a bunch of joints and some edibles, and they put it all in this plastic bag. And then Larry said, and he can't find it anywhere. He thinks it's in his car. And his car is a bit of a hoard too. There's a lot of trash and shit. But, that got both me and David going, well, there's I go, what do you think? Finder's fee on this, Larry? Or we just find it and keep quiet about it. But it wasn't there at all. And then he called his son. He goes, I don't know. Maybe I left that weed around your place, or you might have taken it, or, but if you didn't, let me know or whatever. But then my hot suspect on that was, it's the tweakers. Fucking said, dude, he's boning that maybe teenage. I don't know. She looked teenage to me, but he's a tweaker and they're boning. And I'll bet that guy, after he gets done boning, smokes some meth and stalks around here and probably spotted that bag in Larry's rubble and then took it. I would think that, or Larry just dropped it. But
this, honestly, Andy, this is the other side of the story of your story of the guy who you told not to park on your fucking street, and then you went into his house and stole weed from him. They Karma. Did that.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's the same story, but now you're in the multiverse. You're experiencing.
Yeah. It's a different version of the same thing.
Yeah, you're now a different character in that film.
That's what happened, man. You frame it. You frame it a little different.
That's why you're the fucking Columbo here. You figured this out because you've been through this Slumdog Millionaire style. You've lived every question.
Yeah, so I know.
So what could happen, Andy, is another version will be you're the dog.
What I could have asked Larry is, have you said,
or Larry?
Have you said fuck off to anybody lately? No, Larry.
Right.
Larry's very generous with whatever weed he has, or what, I don't think, I don't think it was a setup. He might have. I mean, Larry had, he's not real sharp on it or whatever, but I would think that would have been a good scam to get us to clean up his shit, because David got a garbage bag and cleaned up all the garbage in the car and picked up a bunch of stuff. We didn't find the weed, and then Larry shits. We don't like to use the term police, but his area was policed.
That is pretty interesting. What if he played you guys for fucking being the weed addicted chumps that you are? Like, I can get them to clean the whole trailer.
Yeah, I'll give him a couple of trinket prizes. I forget.
Is Larry someone who doesn't mind people cleaning up? Because usually hoarders are.
Well, David
I've seen.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You could call it enabling, but David just recognizes that Larry ain't going to pick up a lot of the shit, and it takes, it's kind of amazing, because Larry hasn't been Larry's been Larry, and David's had to pay the brunt of it. Like their birthdays are real close together. In fact, it was just David's birthday the other day, and then Larry's, oh shit, it might have been his birthday. It could have been his birthday today for all I know. But whenever, there were a few times when the police wanted
birthday cake fire.
Yeah. Now we really got into it. Oh, that's right. I took him that cake.
I took him that cake with that fake candle. I thought it would be funny if he couldn't blow it out. Novelty candle.
Hey, Andy, I just need to satisfy my curiosity. You paint the picture of Larry sitting there in his command center, kind of like Captain Kirk on the bridge of the Enterprise. Does he have a grab stick or something to grab things so he doesn't have to get out of the chair?
I didn't see that technology there, but it doesn't mean it couldn't have been tucked away in there. I kind of I view it like it's like picking up a condom or something. You just put a glove on, and you can't really it's like I wouldn't go, hey Larry, can I get a drink of water here? And then pour water or something.
Hey, Andy, I think we have a question in the front row there.
Okay,
I have a question. I also picture what Chaille's picturing, and then after the fire, now I've pictured he's thrown the water and he's put the fire out. Was the electrical situation cleared up and fixed, or once the fire was out, did he just sit back in the chair and like take a nap? Is there going to be another?
That was close.
Fire? Right.
I can say as somebody who did a real half-assed inspection of stuff, I was just looking for setups. So I could say, hey, Larry, do you ever feel like getting a bunch of porn magazines and redoing those murals? Oh, no, I don't think about that shit like I used to or whatever. Oh, but I did realize that Larry had a whirly gig or whatever, those, but it was broken. It's a 3-part spinning thing, and David was repairing that for him. And
what?
Like a yard spinner wind thing,
Oh,
it
like
was
a yard decoration.
Yeah, 3 big, 3 circles, rainbow, woke colors. I shouldn't point it out that Larry's got rainbow colors, but Larry's thing, and it was broken. And then watching Larry fuck with that and try to find the other piece to it, and then David repair it, I was like, this is what should be a Twitch stream. That just like Larry fixing shit, or whatever. I could go over there and just say, hey, Larry, we're gonna make a guinea pig with glue and glitter, and then just tape that. We'd never get it done or anything, but it seems like that's what
you don't have to. You just have to start the project, and the adventure is not completing it.
And Larry can go into some kind of like a story that I don't know. I mean, some of it's
that's perfect, Chaille. Don't move.
Yeah, look at that. Wow. Oh my God, that's like those presidential pictures that
like fucking Carmen Miranda.
Mm-hmm. I thought Mike Pence was fabulous as a gay in that little shoot. I mean, if I were to choose one of those gay president, man,
there were some pretty hot ones in there.
Yeah, I felt like
glammed out Republicans. I saw that. I saw it on Reddit. I sent it to you. These guys. I don't know if Chaille can find it in our text.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah, I saw the first day of it, and then some. Man, yeah, it's scary how quickly those things progress. I'm glad I'm not being mocked by the internet yet.
Comes up as Republicans
that you're aware of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Well, the Pence one, you got to move over a little bit because it's his hot legs that make him so sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah, he's got
Pence. They didn't really have to do much with him. Just put him in that outfit, and he does have that. Even when he's talking about banning abortion, you think he's still, he's thinking.
He also actually looks like he might be taking a shit.
That's what I was about to say. He looks like he got caught on the toilet. Like,
the world's most glamorous toilet.
Yeah, like, hey, get out of here.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, fucking cheers, you guys.
Oh yeah, it felt good to be on
start to the show. Welcome to Issues with Andy, everybody.
So 2:00 and not 2:30.
2:00 every Thursday at 2:00.
Damn it.
But we've changed the time so many times for various reasons that it doesn't seem like a very regular time. So I understand.
Andy, I blamed weed.
Yeah.
I just sit and wait for the email because I don't have shit else to do. So I never know. I'm like, is it 2 or 3? Fuck, I don't know. I'll get an email half an hour before. So,
I send that email to go out
before.
But I send the email to go out. I schedule it to go out a half hour before so that I don't have to remember to do it. I can schedule it to go out hours before if you prefer.
No, half an hour. That's working for Chad. Let's not lose another one.
That's what I mean.
That's my alarm clock.
Yeah.
I wanted to set up over at the coast and have a cool background or whatever, but it's just like fucking, I'd have to talk to people or go, hey man, can I do this? And no, the bongos, I just bring that with me. I'm not going to play a set of bongos up there.
Andy, I will guarantee you this. There is no way your drum playing would have bothered anyone.
Not even in not even when there were sleeping people.
You could take that drum and play it on a plane and no one would complain.
We'll see about that. It's pretty big, but I'm going to learn how to play it. That's so I'm taking road. I took a road
I gave
trip.
you lesson 1 already, and you really haven't embraced it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I would be David tried to give me lessons on the drums, but I don't listen, and he's not a very good teacher, so it didn't work out.
Double whammy.
Yeah, and he didn't like me fucking with his shit, so I'd start banging the foot pedals, and that was the end of the lesson.
I got a question, Andy. I don't know why this thing
keep happening.
I don't know what's going on. I don't have my mouse.
Getting a shot of your screen.
Yeah.
I can see it. It comes up. That's why I changed it. But I don't have my mouse with me, so I'm having to use the trackpad. I wonder if I'm touching something.
Is that some sort? What even is that picture, and what purpose does it serve? Is that that's not your screensaver?
It's the picture for Zoom when your video is not on. If I do this.
Oh my God.
That looks like he froze up. Can I use that for my Tinder profile?
Andy, I have a question about the drum.
Yeah.
Why does David have at least one bongo?
He's a professional drummer. I mean, he's played music his whole life.
Have we ever heard that?
Oh yeah.
Well, him and Larry played that one time, but
that's right.
Jam session.
David was not. Right. Nobody was doing him any favors there. That drunken Kip guy.
Together.
that guy. David just told me a story about that Kip guy he was the drunken guitarist, and he's a feeble. He's got mental problems and shit. He's every once in a while, and he gets off his meds, and so he got off his meds and came up to Eugene to go see a friend around Salem, which is way north. He is pulled off the side of the road trying to get his bearings. And he's only been off his meds a little bit, but he's already batshit crazy, hours off course and confused. And then he got how David said, it sounded like the other guy got fucked up, but he got in a fight. And according to Kip, he beat the shit out of this guy, but that guy ended up taking his guitar, anything he wanted to take, this guy took, plus beat the shit out of him. But this other guy, this feeble drunk who's a weakling and a dope fiend, said that he kicked his ass or whatever, but it just doesn't make sense. And then David said his hands look like the hands of a baby. no physical, so there's no fuck. He just got rolled, beat up, and then but that's how that's what McConaughey preaches, go on a road trip. Shit. I don't know that he went on that road trip because of that, but anyway, I just thought I would share David's friend getting his ass kicked. To me, those kind of stories are funny when somebody's like, "Yeah, I fucked him up pretty good though," and then you're like,
"But you got all your stuff taken."
Yeah.
You fucked him up.
At what point the second
beat his ass? Then
showed him
when he came back a second time and took that. Was that when you kicked his ass? I think he got back on his meds.
Yeah, well, I think it's a bit of a stretch to try to degrade Matthew McConaughey by looping him into that story too.
Yeah.
I feel like he's being unfairly.
I don't feel like I listened to enough of the bullshit on that thing to really even get a. But when I they'd have different people come in and do some time or whatever, and I didn't, and then when they did that commercial, he come in and then they did a commercial for that seminar. I was like, oh, here, he's fucking cunt. Every time it's just like Jesus or Jehovah or anybody else who wants to grift people hey, what a wonderful fishing pond. You got 2 million people on a Monday with nothing better to do than log into. You got the ripest fucking plucking of any cult ever. You think Jim Jones would have had those shitty numbers if he would have been doing virtual fucking church? Yeah, he would have had millions.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, that sounds like, I don't know. I feel like you're being a bit unfair to him. Hang on a second. I've got to go grab a beer.
Andy, I got a question about because I didn't tune in. I missed it completely. The road trip, is it like a virtual road trip, or
it's just you take it's like buy the books and study the course, check in, do the Zoom classes. That's all it is. I mean, and then probably at the end of it, they tell you to take a road trip in a different way. Look at everything different. Fucking dumb, I don't know.
Take a
It's
trip
another
and never
bait and
leave the
switch.
farm.
And what the fucking the art of living, man? That's something someone else wrote for you. Fuck
Actually,
you.
it isn't. He actually improvised that line, but that's okay. That's
Okay, he did. All
I don't
right.
want to get too
L-I-V-I.
bogged down in the details here.
I didn't hear anything that made me really ponder and think about shit. I'm guessing if you do the book, you're one-on-one with Matthew McConaughey, but I felt like it was a sales pitch to rubes. And I did put some money down. I had to go cancel that credit card at the bank because I think I made an impulse purchase here. Is anything coming up for $4,000? LIVIN. That's why I can't listen to that shit, because I would get roped into it and go, yeah, I want shit. It would make me happier than having $4,000 to piss away on something stupid like that. I wouldn't need it. I go get some cocaine.
Yeah, we already we go on a road trip every year out in the middle of the desert. We're miles ahead of this guy.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I got the bongo, and I'm gonna do my own.
The thing that sucks is that you're collateral damage in that. You're not even the target audience. The guys they want are the ones that have the hundreds of fucking thousands of dollars in their bank accounts. And
no friends.
They've got tons of upsells on the fucking road trip.
Yeah.
So.
And then, well, I don't know anyone on the road trip, but if you knew somebody, and then all of a sudden, it's like Larry. Say Larry and me sat and did the seminar together. Larry made it all the way through and was adhering to some of the principles he learned. And then, I check on him a few years later, and Larry's fucking living large, doing great. Has people who love him.
Supermodel
girlfriend. He's been in a fucking movie.
Yeah, he has a spot. He not only does he have a girlfriend, he cleaned out the garbage on the passenger side so she actually can ride with him.
She can ride with him.
Larry, did you drive through a lake or anything? No, why? I go, well, I don't know. You might want to open the doors in your car when it's warm, because it's like there's a moisture in there, and he didn't know anything about it. Your car is damp.
Well, it rains a lot where you are. Is he leaving the windows down?
I don't know. I think Larry's I think he's moist. I think he lives. I don't know if Stanhope would always, and Stanhope probably does live this way now, is throw away the socks or just wear them till they rot on your feet, basically. I think Larry, I think Larry lives large with multiple socks.
Is that what you meant when you said that's how the fire started?
Yeah, foot fire.
Foot fire.
His burner socks started a foot fire. It makes perfect sense when we're like piecing it together like a dangerous mind right now.
It could be too that I noticed his feet look like my dad's feet. So I was like, if I had more time to work the case, I'd have more theories. Maybe Larry's feet are kind of dead. So he doesn't really notice. He doesn't
no feeling left in him.
Yeah. And
did he have diabetes or pre-diabetes?
I would think, I don't know, not by what I saw sitting around on his shelves, but if he was diabetic and
that's not how you diagnose diabetes, by looking at someone's shelf.
Well, you can kind of get an idea if you see.
You can look at what's in the kitchen.
If you see a large person or somebody who's unhealthy and they got several kinds of Oreos.
Oreos?
Oreo. He had, but they're like birds. I like the snack or whatever, but I just, I'm not there. Like Larry's very generous and offers here. Let me get on some plastic gloves and dig to the bottom of the sleeve of those cookies and take the one that's closest to the plastic. Because I did find out he has running water, so I was like, "That's cool. He's got running water." What
was the last thing you ate there, Andy?
He had a bag of those s'mores, those pre-made s'mores, and I dumped some in my hand, and then I offered those to my sister-in-law, who was not as hip to the fact that, hey, I would think everybody would, take a look at them fingernails. Those fingernails are going into that bag right there, So, but I had one of those and it didn't sit right neither. I don't think you go,
That could be psychosomatic though. You just got
yeah.
If
I think that's probably right though. I think it's probably something on his fingers. You don't want to be eating. Digging around.
Yeah, no, I mean I don't know,
You think he doesn't scratch his ass with his fingers?
I don't know.
A lot of shit lives under your fingernails.
Yeah,
and he's just kind of, he's one of those guys who has prioritized personal hygiene differently than maybe over the years. People do, they get less inclined or whatever. But I think when you're completely sure that you're getting pussy or years are done, that's when you got total freedom. That's when the weird beards and the fucking bad odor and shit, they become idiosyncrasies and your own business, because nobody, and that's where, if I saw that guy shitting in a sink at Walgreens, I'd take off and run out of the building. But if I sat and looked closer, I'd go, wait a minute, that's my brother. he's just kind of weird. He didn't even want to come get this vaccine.
Look at his fingers. He's not going to use the sink to wash his hands.
Ugh. Yeah, clearly.
So
maybe he doesn't know that that's what a sink is for.
Mm-hmm.
Or look at his hands. Maybe he did use that sink to wash his hands after.
But if you have fingernails like that and you're not doing yard work, like he doesn't do any.
Let
me give you. I did yard work for a long time. There's very little chance that someone with that size pinky nail is doing his hands in the yard.
Yeah, that's a possibly.
That would catch.
Possibly doing coke, probably filthy glory hole cocksucker or something. That'd be my guess. If I just saw that hand, like that's
I'm not gonna ask what use that has in a
glory hole cocksucker.
That pinky, that
go there with it. But
if you're sucking dick through a glory hole, how are you gonna reach around the wall and put your pinky in his ass?
That's for you, man. You're like, but it's just somebody who that's their fucking exercise. That's their social life. They fucking run around in their car and then they go in and they're fucking queen of the ball. And you may not be attractive, but what makes something more attractive is covering it with plywood. And that person may not find love, walking around in the streets or whatever, but you get that mouth behind a hole there, and them filthy hands don't matter. To some people, I'm not saying I
got you. Now I'm following. I thought you were implying that the filthy glory hole cocksucker was using that pinky to give a reach around up the ass.
I don't know how you could monetize that.
How would be a little difficult with a wall.
Yeah, that's the kind of intimacy that goes beyond glory hole situation. Now you're sharing drugs. No, you might as well just knock on the door next to you and get to know that, hey, this guy's name is Ray. He works near where you work. You guys should just hang out. That would actually
walls, man. Tear down the walls.
That would actually be a great hidden camera show where you just you introduce the two guys who are just having sex in the glory hole, and then they go on a road trip to go see you.
Oh my God. Like, have I told you about the seminar I just did?
Politically, isn't that kind of against the code of the glory hole?
I think it is. Definitely.
I think you'd have some Christians going, well, or some guys going, hey, I don't hate you or whatever. You're I mean, they meet under different circumstances. Somebody protesting the other one and saying the other one's going to burn in hell. But if you just tear down that plywood wall, you got a youth minister with a mouthful of cum from a guy who probably wouldn't hang out and have a sandwich with him. That's what my call. I'd introduce those guys, and those would be, I don't know if you could use them for cult muscle, but they'd definitely keep other people from wanting to join. And they wouldn't have to be a part of the inner. I would want the inner circle to be all fucking chicks. And not like Chris D'Elia neither. They'd have to come in 19 and be fucking weird on their own. You got to be your own fucking weird.
I wouldn't even want any 19-year-olds, dude. If I would, you just start with like people over 40. Anyone under 40 seems just weird to me, with very few exceptions. So
yeah,
getting into trouble.
A couple worker bees, a couple 40-year-old joggers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I watched that Chris D'Elia thing. I probably won't recommend it because he's such a disturbing scumbag, rapist or whatever. But his whole thing was, I mean, he had so much energy for that shit. It's crazy.
He bragged about it. The truth is, he bragged about it often because he never thought he was ever going to get caught. He never thought there would be repercussions. So now his defenders saying that there's no actual proof and no charges have ever been filed against him doesn't really carry much water, because
it's like
he's bragged about doing it, and he didn't confess in like I did this particular thing over and over, but he bragged in a way about, you know, how he did whatever he fucking wanted in life and no one could stop him because he was a pure hedonist, and I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like, he was proud of his little, like, you know, confessional. I guess now they would be TikToks, but I even think it was before there was a TikTok. He was doing,
and then the shit he would, you know, like, I'm gonna kill myself if you stop talking to me. I'll kill you. Like he played such stupid fucking games with each person or whatever. But it's really it's crazy that people can be so easily, you know, manipulated. And then with a little tiny bit of celebrity, and this guy had more than that for whatever. It was like I don't like if I don't know. I mean, I didn't watch his stupid shows or whatever, but it must have appealed to enough people that he could you know, get fucking teenage girls to correspond with.
His parents were Hollywood producers and big shots of some
kind. So he's been at this.
So he grew up in the scene. So he was already connected when he started.
Okay.
And
I wonder.
He is a performative personality. You know what I mean? So it never bothered him to be like trying to be the center of attention in the room. So you combine those two things, and you can.
I can't imagine organizing and orchestrating, having somebody come over and suck you off before a show. It's like, hey, yeah, I mean, that was one of it. I was like, man, that's, if that happens, that should be organic.
Seems like you're not focused on the show.
Well, I mean, but you could get blown off before a show, but it's just like all the energy and stuff, and then like, you know, whining about it or whatever.
That was his kink, though, right?
Getting sucked off.
Well, no, just the power trip that he was on.
Right.
Being able to manipulate people into doing it. That's what he liked.
Right.
And like the blowjob was just a fucking bonus.
And like conditioning from afar, which is, he was a master at that. Like where he wanted to know where they were, he'd track them, and then where are you at or whatever. And then now to go take a picture of your cunt in the bathroom or whatever. And they would send him a picture a few minutes later. Like he did that. That's the kind of shit you got to do a cult, though. And I just like people to fucking show up and hang out and bring some chips or whatever, and don't bug me. You know, actually, no, dump your chips into a container so you don't crinkle. First rule of the fucking cult.
First rule of Chip Club:
no bags of chips.
What would happen whenever Andy and I did shows together? If there was ever anybody coming over before the show, it was always somebody Andy sort of accidentally invited. You know, because he
accidentally
was too polite to not say, hey, no, man, we'll just catch up after the show's over. And then some weird people, or actually not to say weird people, some nice people would come over to hang out before the show. And Andy would basically sit there while I had a conversation with these people, because otherwise it was really just awkward.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why people want to hang out with me.
It's on your insistence.
It'd be like, how about this? How you hang out around me?
Yeah.
I'm too weird, you know, distracted and weird to actually hang with. That's what I don't, you know, people are like, hey, let's go hang out or whatever. And I'm like, you know, I don't, I mean, if I'm hanging out,
you're then a lone wolf, bro. That's why you were king of the party at the first desert party, because you were a lone wolf.
Right.
Sliding in and out in different fucking mind sets and different personas. And
I didn't just hunker down with Roy. I didn't settle. Go, all right, Roy's my friend. I gotta fucking work this whole group or they're gonna fucking kill me out here. They're gonna murder me.
Yeah, exactly right.
That was if I had to amuse myself in the Matthew McConaughey scroll, like, hey, what's something you want to confess and you want to get off your chest? I murder people. I think about murdering people constantly. I was scrolling and dropping in there, but he never called on me.
Are you messaging in on when like you're?
Yeah. They're like,
talking with them.
You gotta know that's going to get you bounced immediately.
Yeah,
you can't go there. You can't come on that strong. You got.
Well, nobody's got time to read each other's comments or just ripping down or whatever.
Well, I mean,
but I would like a
somebody's
follow-up.
moderating that for sure, and they're going to boot you right out if you say you enjoy murdering people. Like that's going to.
Well, I was just confessing. Like hey, what's something you don't want anybody to know that you've done? Well, that's the big one. I haven't done it, and I certainly wouldn't blather about it on a podcast had I done it. I wouldn't be surprised if people have died in the wake of me, and it's not my fault. I can definitely say I've probably hospitalized some people unintentionally, but I never, I didn't say come on, or maybe I did, but it was
right. They didn't have to follow you.
I didn't know what a four-way stop was for the first. It's something that I kind of glossed over and learning how to drive, and I would bounce through those sometimes, and I'm people.
So your lack of a willingness to read anything.
Well, and I still don't know how.
One word signs.
Yeah, they could put up at my brother's spot. They were putting up a sign today that made it's 2 arrows. And it's like, oh, this makes no sense because it's a one-way hill. You can't go, and it's this real steep hill, and so you can only go up it. But Larry will go down it. Larry will get, a little, whatever, in wound up, and then he's left there a few times and squealed down the hill, and then 101's right down at the bottom of the hill. Well, he's gone out. Yeah, like 2 wheels off the fucking ground and spinning around there, and
right in front of a chip truck or something like that.
Yeah. Brakes, so fucking Jake braking.
That was the story when you were like, "Oh, he probably shouldn't be driving," but
Yeah. And
it's a one-way hill, and he goes down.
Yeah, and then at the top of the hill there was this guy putting this double sign up, but I liked it because it's kind of what it means is once you get to the top of the hill, it's 2-way. But it just doesn't make sense. It's like one of those signs where you'd have to go, the fuck does this mean? It's not a busy street. It's just like it's like a very not busy.
So the sign should have said end one way.
It shouldn't be
a one-way street up until that point, and now it's not.
Mm-hmm. But I like it because it's it's just one you have to kind of think about instead of just like
that's not a good thing for traffic.
Yeah,
it's like Chad's motion detecting light from the Patreon part of the episode that only comes on after you've gone around the corner. It's supposed to be illuminating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's my mom wasn't a very good driver, and she schooled. I got the guy who was molested me taught me how to drive, and then my mom finished up the lessons. And it's like I'm already PTSD on this whole driving thing.
Is this the sign, Andy?
Yeah, only he had it up. He had it up fucked up. And I don't
90 degrees?
He had it the other, he had it the other direction, but I don't know if he was going to adjust that. He was in the process of putting it up there. But that one that's confusing too, because it looks like from one side,
2-way traffic is what that is.
If you see it from going uphill, you'd think it's 2-way traffic coming down there. So I think it's going to cause problems. I would like to see
that sign. No, that sign would only be for the people who have come up the hill.
Hill.
Now they see this sign is telling them there's going to be 2-way traffic.
Muscle memory would tell you on the other side what's going to happen, and I know because I probably jumped this hill as in high school. But it's one of those hills where you can take off and get you can flip, you can fuck your vehicle up, but you can definitely get a lot of air on that thing. So I think when that's the the potential. And plus, I think there's a drug dealer that lives above him. So shit's about to get cool up in there. But it's as far as like a sign, I like it when it's kind of leaves up to, you guys interpret it that way.
Is this the sign, Andy?
No. It was like the one you had. It was just facing different. But like a sign will tell you stop or don't, like really specific. That one is like you can go both ways, but then it's in a spot where you can't actually go both ways. But I fucking, while I was pondering, I drove off with why we went to Larry's.
He hit a tree while I was thinking about the sign.
David wanted to go get this big mailbox at Larry's before it disappeared or whatever. It was just a big giant mailbox, and that. So he goes, "Yeah, I'll go out there. I got to get that mailbox." So then, David went to talk to that guy with the sign, and then I said my goodbyes and took off, and I got that mailbox now. I got the drum.
You got another mailbox?
I ended up with his mailbox because I was like thinking that sign, man. I was focused, putting all my mental energy on. I don't think that sign actually makes sense. And then I fucking forgot to leave him the thing we went to go get, but he'll get it someday.
Well, I think you should put try to put the mailbox in the ground and see if you can get the mailman to deliver your mail to a third mailbox.
Yeah.
New location.
He should.
The fans of this podcast will be like, "Oh man, this show's played out. They're redoing."
I could split
an old
that was
storyline.
season 2, bro. They already did this one.
I don't even know. I haven't seen that guy in a while, so I may have new post. That's what it was like. I knew we're two guys we're two guys slugging it out at the end of our lives, and he's getting ready to retire. I got cancer, and it's like this is all that matters. I've never really won anything, but having that every time I pull into the driveway, I'm like, there's my trophy right there.
That's a victory.
Yeah, and then I should have taped him when he come up. When that fucking guy come up and said he actually likes it better there, I should have said, "Hold on, let's get on and put this in the internet." You
want public record of this
because
guy.
It actually works easier for me. And then at that point, I could have said, "Yeah, I'm sorry about flattening your tires. I just wasn't sure who that was." But I think that's when he kind of, that's when we became equals. Up at that point, he had the federal government on his side, and I can fucking do that shit to you.
And you still beat him.
I know where you're going to be every day about 12:30. I could follow you and heckle you or whatever. Be cool. I want to be friends.
He is protected by the government, though.
But
you can only get so far, Andy, with your bravado because he is a postal carrier.
I should have got into politics after that because I took on the federal government, the bureaucracy,
man,
the wokeness.
Yep.
And I changed it, and I through faking injury and harassment, all that shit led to the outcome I wanted.
Yeah, you could have gotten into it, right? You could have been the water commissioner for District 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you'd have been a good candidate.
Well, if when the postmaster suggested putting everybody's mailboxes on the landing, that would have been an opportunity to garner votes. Let's just go out there and go, "Hey, you getting your mail? I'm actually running for water commissioner."
How does that connect, though?
I'm the one who got these mailboxes here.
Yeah.
It's that sort of boots on the
kind of thing
that's making that I'll do. As
you put water commissioner. You put a flag behind me. Action. As a private citizen, Andy Andrist took on the bureaucracy of the United States Postal Office, standing toe to toe with one of their most fierce fucking assholes who refused to walk 9 fucking feet up to a fucking level spot
during a battle with cancer.
Yeah.
That's what gave me cancer. I didn't have cancer until
that card.
Because at the beginning, I was fighting. I was fighting for the rights of my wife to go up and get the mail.
That's it. When
I got cancer because of it.
We start off with a flag waving and some soft music and soft focus, and then you come into view and you say, when I was fighting cancer and fighting for my life, I never thought that you know, I would end up here running for water commissioner. But it's not only cancer I've beaten. I've been a fighter my whole life. I took on Kevin.
I fought against
Kevin.
I fought against keeping the guinea pigs out in the cold weather. I fought against. Okay.
What issue was that? That's
son of a bitch at the state farm when he
right. I took on
my case.
I took on big insurance. I put my toddler on the front line to go against big real estate. I took on big real estate. You know, playing the guitar. I got 5 or 6 hero fucking flags. And I think I'm good at convincing stupid people to buy a scam if I wanted to. If I focus my energy, I just observe stupid people and maybe talk about them behind their backs or whatever, but I've never really used my energy to try to get their wallets from them. And that would be
that's good though. That's good. You should never do that. By the way,
my Patreon.
Our Patreon's only $5 a month, and really, that's nothing. And you get extra stuff. Like this episode, there was a big chunk of it that won't be on the regular YouTube. We already know it'll be on the Patreon. So if you like what's happening here, and I'm not saying today's Patreon would be anything like an Issues with Andy bait and switch. I'm just saying check out our Patreon episode of this because there's some extra stuff on there. It's just $5 a month, which comes down to
I do have that.
barely over $1 an episode, which is a fucking bargain.
I got a gem for Patreon this time. Is Larry? I mean, he was talking about the fire, and I know how much of it we got before it cut off. But you can hear from Larry, his Dateline version of what happened.
Is that on the video?
I'll send that. Yeah, I'll send it to.
I had the videos.
That's.
Are those the videos you sent me earlier, Andy?
No, I didn't. Not that I'm aware of.
Play the video he sent earlier. What was that video?
Should we? You sent me 3 videos, or you posted 3 videos.
I don't remember.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't play them.
No, I don't. I haven't done any.
What was the one you were showing earlier today, Chaille?
I'll just play it. Hold on. Let me grab it.
I mean, if it's Larry, this is like one of those talk shows. I guess this clip is
well, the clip. I don't know what's on this clip. Could be anything, Jimmy. Could be anything.
Oh, it's that one.
It's a funny one. This is when we got mixed up over who was supposed to.
No, I was battling not having a very much of a charge on my phone or whatever. So I was it's like fucking, Larry's he was kind of on a roll. You can never expect it, but I think if you catch Larry right after he wakes up. Oh man, yeah, that's not even how did I send that to you today?
That's it. It's only 2 seconds.
No, that's from a while back. You asked us to send video of your area.
Yeah, but why did you send it today?
Seconds of steps.
I don't even. That's
the only thing you said.
Hold on, there's more.
There was one earlier that you showed where
I know. I'm trying to find it. He sent a couple. So hold on. Me not having a mouse is really a problem today. All right, so I gotta get to share screen. Is this old, Andy?
Yes. A few.
Wait! What just happened there?
Oh,
he turned it 90 degrees and then put it behind the rail.
Very artsy.
Yeah. Oh, maybe I don't know what wow, you've got quite the
oh yeah,
Holy
nice
smoke. Very avant-garde, I think.
Come on.
Do you see?
Come on, Brian. Come on. You coming?
Andy, there's 2.5 minutes left of this. Is there?
No, that's nothing. Yeah, no, go to I just sent you a little clip of Larry to the multiple email.
The multiple email, and by multiple email, he means text thread.
Group text.
That's
so what about this one, Andy? Is this something?
No, that's just my dog shitting.
More of the same. Okay. So
that video is actually dog shit.
Watch the dog taking a shit.
That's the power. That's the power of the dog. I'm remaking the.
All right.
That's the first scene. That's the first scene of it. Then you have cowboys having sex or whatever, but you got a dog taking a squat. It has nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
Goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I think is this it? I don't know. No, that's
Can
2
we have
seconds.
breakfast?
Mommy, dear. Mommy,
Cat,
dear.
can we have capers for breakfast?
Kippers?
Kippers.
Capers? Kippers.
Yep.
Capers.
Isn't that right? Isn't that
Might be
what your
capers. You might
boss's?
be right.
Isn't that your boss's racist word?
Okay, yeah, I gotta play this. This is totally within the context of what we're talking about. Just
Oh,
give me
no.
a minute.
All right. Perfect.
Is this a jerk off video? Oh man,
Oh man.
that's one thing I don't have any of
Don't
those.
do
lessons.
anymore.
Nah, I mean, it's like, why would Michael Jordan tape himself shooting hoops now?
Here we go.
Roll
Yeah.
out on that shaft down closer to them propellers.
There's where there's the hero.
Oh, there's the
Whirly game.
yard spinner.
Yeah, if you get something on there, it'll probably be pretty good.
David fixed it with a hemorrhoid
Spin off there on
cream cap, and he melted it on there.
plastic.
But now his hemorrhoid cream's going to dry out.
But I sat on that stool there. I said it while Larry told the fire story. But
Roll
that's-
out on that shaft.
Oh,
So is that
Closer to
his
them
command
propellers.
center there, Andy?
yeah, that's him, and that's looking in his front door, and the fire
Okay, so
started
the
just
fire was right there.
yeah by that
Yeah,
speaker.
something on
Those
there,
CDs were
probably
burnt,
pretty
and
good.
the shelf was,
Otherwise,
burnt.
it'll spin off there on you.
and then he saved himself. Or
The shelf looks like a little bar right next to where he's sitting. Is that
see how that is though? Like he got everything within reach,
Larry's
Yeah,
way
yeah,
more
he's-
mobile than I pictured him.
Yeah, he never.
Yeah,
thought- he did. He
I
didn't-
imagine more Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
he's less. He's retaining less water recently.
Oh, that's good.
He has
he looks
been
good.
gelled up.
He looks real
But-
good.
Yeah, he's fucking. Like I said, he's not trying to impress nobody anymore. So
He's free. He's truly free.
yeah, I think he'd probably take some if somebody wanted to come over there like he was Chris D'Elia and suck him off. I'm sure he'd be okay with it.
He can
It's like-
manipulate a 19-year-old.
Yeah, anybody, a retarded senior citizen, you got to spend time there, and I just don't.
God.
Yeah, he's totally free. But back when he was a slave to fashion and stuff, he was a whole different. He was,
Slave to fashion.
He was like he'd wear parachute pants, like he had like parachute pants, and Michael, he dressed like that guy in The Wedding Singer that was the friend. Like he dressed like
Adam
ridiculous.
Sandler's. Drove
Larry had leather pants at various times, and he's never played in a band or done acting or comedy, and he had leather pants. I mean, that's no motorcycle neither. That's the other, that he just wore that kind of. He was he wore a fucking leather vest and multiple fucking rings, and he kind of dressed like Johnny Depp years ago, and it was a cheaper version of everything that Johnny Depp wears, but it was the same kind of fucking piratey style.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks good on him.
Dude, he's lived a life, man.
Yeah.
He's got a lifetime of memories.
Yeah, I told him him and that fucking we were talking about George, his buddy George, that I fucking never liked this guy. Even as a kid, I didn't like him. And years later, I evicted him and Larry, or helped evict them from a place, my mom's. And then the fucking George guy, I didn't like him as a kid, fuck you, George. It's like I was a kid and I'd say, fuck you, I hated that guy. He's just like a douchebag. I don't even know what I hated about him, but his last name's Pinkton, George Pinkton. So fuck him. And anyway, I saw him years later, and we're me and David working our asses off, digging garbage out of my mom's trailer and throwing these fucking assholes out. And then they show up, and then George is offended that I didn't say hi to him. He goes, "You know who I am, don't you?" I go, "Yeah." And that was just like, and then he's like a fucking dick. Like, what am I? I'm not. It's like, hey, it's George. Like fucking, you showed up. It was like you're lucky I
still
don't
hated
knock
him.
your fucking teeth out, George. So move along. But he's like I've been a long time buddy of. They've had adventures and dumb shit for years. They're both assholes. I'd like to read an account of their adventuring together.
Chaille, what did you do? Just Google leather pants and just took the first.
Yeah.
No, I was trying to get parachute pants and wedding singer, and it was
Oh, it's like a local, like Sierra Vista.
it's probably a local production of the wedding singer.
Yeah. That's funny.
Well, for instance, on Larry's fashion, is he had that pile of shirts, and I wanted to grab a couple of them or whatever, and I took them home, and they were fucking beyond repair. Or whatever, but they're all cool shirts that you would grab at at a thrift store. You go, oh, that one, like Larry's had a good fashion eye, and I think
these were clothes that he had in his closet in the place. Shit.
Well, no, closet's a strong word for it. Pile of fucking shit that was back in the wet part of the trailer was what. Yeah, it was it was too bad because it was where all the vintage shirts and porn was. Like, and you guys said, you should have just put a rat trap down or, that was something that was kind of weird in Larry's car. He had a set rat trap inside of his car in the back seat. So it was like
one that was like loaded, ready to go.
Yeah. Like, dude, you're telling us to look for your weed and you got a fucking rat trap in there.
That's for you. That's not for a rat.
I think so. Here's an idea. Roll up the windows.
Was there an 8 inside the rat trap?
A what?
An 8?
An 8?
No.
He waited for you or the rat?
Yeah.
No, he just had, he's always had I know he had thought Barbie dolls were his thinking might be the neighbors see that they won't steal from him. But it's like people are, that's what he had. He had Barbie dolls hanging by strings, their heads. And we were like, and he tried to explain it as that was to keep people out of the basement. And, which, if you're, don't know who our family is and you see that, you'd be like, oh fuck, it's a dirt floor basement and there's these doll heads, but that's
I'd stay out of there.
When he was living there, that was
working for me.
It worked for him, and that's what I told him at the time. Look at Chaille's hands up there. But I told him, I go, I don't think we'll have anybody coming in to rob our basement when you're not here, because that's what it was. It was like he was like that kid in Home Alone. He had traps and stuff set for people who might
the wet bandits.
Yeah, like he put fishing or not dental floss across the wind, just stupid shit. Like you're gonna, somebody's gonna go, oh, ouch. Okay. But he's I think he's kind of,
you get it right across gets right in between your teeth as you're like making your way through the window. Like,
like there was some people who were there were people routinely coming in and burglarizing, showing up at the house with ill intentions or whatever. But it seems like, once Larry moved.
So he booby trapped the house.
His area.
He was in friends were a bunch of criminals.
Yeah.
One guy detonator come over and stole from him, and those guys had a partnership.
Get out of town.
I remember detonator.
That's how I learned about
detonator too. This is the best part about this podcast is that there's so much of it. It's like when you go back and watch Game of Thrones or you go back and watch Succession, you're like, oh yeah, I remember this episode, but it is nice to go back over the details of it.
Yeah.
There's just so much there. He had a friend named Detonator.
Well, little Detonator and Crippled Kenny and Larry used to run around and crime together. But, they crimed together on that one. And then I guess Larry was holding more than was his. That's what happened. This guy's like, Larry ripped this shit off. And my mom was so, she always believed, no way, he didn't steal that. Never, the fuchsia. Or nothing. He always believed the best of him. And then that was the Thanksgiving. I had a nervous breakdown, I think. And but we found all that shit. So this guy's like, here we go. And some of it's in the basement, some of it's up in his room. And my mom goes, that's it. He's out of here. And it's like, wait, because he's fucking this guy. And I was like, narrating it. And that's when I think I had a nervous, this guy detonator. And then we found needles and shit. And it was like, my mom was like, all right, if he's doing needles and he's out of here. He stole from detonator and he's doing needle drugs. The rest of it's been pretty cool.
Detonator, you can stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, detonator.
You want a cheese sandwich, detonator?
Well, and I think I told you guys the Klonopin. I don't know which, or not Klonopin, quinine. Remember the quinine story?
Tonic water?
As somebody showed up at the front door of the Andrist house when I must have been in college or community college, to be honest. But I was home visiting. And this fucking, somebody at our front door, which, we'd get a few of them, but for the most part, it was, and this was in the middle of the night. So guy at the front door and I get up, you can all look down the stairs and there was a fucking guy you could see his face in the window and he was pounding on the door and saying, Dory. And then I was like,
wait, he said Dory?
Well, he said Dory. Yeah, I was ready. I was like scared because it's a scary dude and he's panicked and he needs something. And I go, and then he said, I was ready to get the fuck out of. I was saying that kind of shit outside of the window. Get the fuck out of here, dude. And then he said, Dory, I know. And I was like, Dory, that's my mom's name. And I was like, and he's like, he needs quinine. He kept going, quinine, like Vinnie Barbarino and that. Give me drugs. This guy's like, yeah, I need quinine. I had never heard of the shit, or even what the purpose of it was. And then my mom's awake, and I can hear her, and she goes, "What's going on?" I go, "Mom, there's some guy at the door, and he needs quinine." She goes, "I'll be down in a minute." And she knew somehow there was a situation
Jack.
where my mom was a quinine dealer or had the quinine, and I forget what it was like, leg cramp or what. I forget.
It's used to treat malaria.
So yeah, this guy shows up to treat, needs malaria fucking shit, and my mom had it for him. That's when I realized that shit is fucking not going very well here at the Andrist house. That's the guy, probably that same dude who came in and stole purses one night in there, and that was I told you that when my dad was whittled down to about, he's probably 3'2", and he was having night horrors, or he'd call out in the middle of the night, and a guy came. My mom would have a baby monitor down there, so he'd go, "Hey, Dory, give me some toast," and my mom would pop up and get toast for a guy who's just calling out random shit in his sleep. But there was a guy who come in, and my mom could hear all this commotion. My dad said, "Hey, get me some water," and then all this commotion, and then the front doors left open, and my mom's purse and grandma's purses were dumped or dropped. As this guy was in a room creeping around. He didn't know the old man was still a Jack in the Box. I saw him on there and thought, no, this, and he popped up and said, "Hey, Chaille should have some of those for the haunted house features." Is a legless man demanding pancakes. "Hey, I would like some pancakes." Like a real horror.
Just hear that Jack in the Box music as you're like creeping around, digging through the purse. Like, what the fuck is that? What is that?
It's the kind of, I bet it was probably that quinine guy, because the robberies happened in that time frame or whatever. But that that was how fucking weird it was. My grandma was living there, and wine. She was a hardcore alcoholic. Grandma. Yeah, well, yeah, she was. I'm sure remorseless, double, triple.
So, I mean, it was just quite at that point. It was quite the scene at the end.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was cough medicine too, wasn't it?
Yeah, she did. Well, by the time she lived at the Andrist house, she was just doing cough syrup, and really her only source of that was me, who didn't read ingredients and would keep her plied with alcohol. I didn't know any better or whatever, but she always, and I think that kind of kept her from being more of a cunt around the house. As she had her buzz of cough syrup. She could talk about being a Christian. She didn't drink anymore. She'd go on long spiels about how she stopped drinking and whatever. And it's like, oh, you're still shitting your pants on that cough syrup. So we ain't out of the woods yet. But we just did laundry that way. We just soaked grandma's pants and we went about our business.
Livin.
Yeah. We just put grandma had a bucket and we'd soak her pants in the bucket before they went to the laundry. We didn't label it as alcoholism.
I mean, that's what that was the way that before disposable diapers.
Yeah.
That's how diapers were treated. The cloth diapers were treated in all the homes in America.
Yeah.
Well, you just soak them in a shit bucket before
you would scrape out the innards, and then there'd be a bucket that you would soak all the dirty diapers in, so that you would loosen it up. It's fucking disgusting. It's weird that we as a humanity have not just perished.
Yeah.
Yeah. No wonder we all got polio. Jesus Christ.
Hey, you should see the fingernails on the lady that just gave me the jab. The cool thing is I did a key bump off of her. Did a bump off of her pinky finger and she jabbed me with the Moderna. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. Like this. Oh, fucking A.
Erickson, did you want to talk about that picture?
No.
All right, good.
I just thought if it came up, it would be funny.
Yeah.
About what?
No, nothing. Oh my God. Well, one thing I did want to mention to fans of the podcast, and I assumed that this episode would be, basically the big reveal.
I got cancer.
No, the opposite of that. When we left you on our last episode, you were waiting on your cancer scan results.
Yeah.
And yesterday, when I went on Twitter, I saw that you had posted that you were cancer free, and I thought, well, that's fantastic. He's cancer free. I also thought, couldn't you have waited one more day?
Oh man, yeah, that's true. It's ratings killer. Or do I?
The old M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Yeah.
You actually have it.
He did learn something from the
And then
McConaughey thing. The old
he pulls
bait
off
switch.
Pulls off the bandana and he's bald.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, man. I was very happy.
I didn't realize, because I've been having the pains throughout since surgery, intermittent, and then I've been getting them enough frequently. It was like, I didn't realize this. I was kind of I was more expecting to hear that I had it and then the guy, hipster comes in there or whatever, and he hits me with it right away. So it was like I was going to give him. If he said something, how's it going? Just tell me what's going on. But he goes, all right, it's all good. As he walked in, all good. All right.
Oh, what a relief!
But yeah, then
he has like pay it out slowly.
Right. I thought that's how you do it.
No big purchases on the horizon. You're not getting into a lease or anything.
You're not going to be going on any road trips.
Here's this funny. I went.
You don't have any money down on a cruise, right?
I was driving by. I was driving by a shoe store, or I drove by it, and they had big sale there. And I don't know. I've gotten some shoes there or whatever, but I was going to go to it. And then I was thinking, no, what do I might have to fucking find out I'm going to die. Why would I want new tread? The engine's shot. Why
I can make it to the end of this on the tires I got.
Yeah, and I went to that store afterwards, and I was just kind of, it was a relief of that, and I was just wandering around someplace that I could be in, and I ran into my neighbor lady from my other place, and her husband had cancer. Anyway, I joked with her about that, and I said, yeah, I was like, not sure I'd need any more shoes for the rest of the whole duration of this shit. And I go, I don't see anything I like, but it's kind of cool that I have the optimism to stop and look at new shoes. Fuck it. I could die. If I found out I had cancer, I got enough shoes. I got enough shirts, everything. It's just like, I'm going to thin this rotation. I was thinking about bungee jumping, high risk bungee, not even high risk, but scary ass bungee jumping to get the nerve up to windsuit. And then the guy shoots me in the dick with, yeah, you're going to live another at least 6 months. We'll let you know in 6 months how much more you got.
Do you have to go in every 6 months, Andy?
Yeah, probably. I mean, And then they also do the lab work. So if my lab work showed any sign of anything or whatever, then I would have to go in there again.
It's better to catch it early, obviously.
I wanted to go in and check out. There's a couple of infusion nurses that I liked, and I wanted to check out and see what their lower face looked like. And I walked into the infusion room, and I did see one of them, but I was like, I got like nauseous seeing people sitting there, and then all those sickly feelings of being in that chair came right back to me.
Back when you were doing chemo.
Yeah, I felt sick. Yeah. And I kind of, even though I was like, thought that one nurse was hot or whatever, she makes me kind of sick to see her too.
But then you see her like being kind and sweet and like, stroking the arm of another cancer patient. And you're like, wait a minute, this is, my brother thinks the whole chemotherapy is a scam. He goes, they cut that cancer out of me and then they do the chemo to scam you. Oh yeah, kind of. I mean, I could see that it could be used as we're going to do this. This is just what we do, instead of, well, let's see an alternate medicine or whatever. He's almost done with it. He's a disgruntled chemo. Most customers in chemo are a little disgruntled or second guessing it when the skin peels off.
1-star review on my chemo.
Yeah, when you you head out to go run errands and you shit your pants immediately. I'm gonna write a bad Yelp review on this shit. This is not cool. But he's cancer free too. He's got to go do the test and get, like the first I did that one, they go, okay, well, there's no signs of it, and then then you go 6 months, and that's where I felt like it's fucking growing. I can feel it. Look at that asshole. And then I'm like, oh man.
I'm glad that you didn't say anything about the pain that you were having after surgery and still, off and on.
Well,
until your scan, because last week I was literally going to say, and I didn't end up saying this just because the conversation ended up flowing in a different direction and the opportunity went away. But I was going to say, well, you should be encouraged because you haven't been having any pain or any sort of feelings. Because you kept all that shit to yourself. And if I would have said that would have just made you more fraught with fucking anxiety. So I'm glad I didn't say that.
I mean, Andy, you're still a 57-year-old man. There's going to be pains,
right? But these were real specific. Like it's like it just burns and then it goes all the way up, and then I kind of can't breathe or my head gets all flat. So it's a real dramatic pain.
Yeah, I have the same thing. It's
like I had one.
Dr. Peppers, they call them.
Could be it. I'm switching that's the incentive I need to get off of this shit.
Yeah, he's switching. He's gonna take care of it. He's switching to Dr. Thunder.
It's physically killing you, man. How about Dr. Skipper?
No more doctors. No more doctors.
Yeah, I'm gonna have alt medicine cola. Which is just hemp or weed infused. Dude, I had them like my daughter would ask about them periodically, and I had one sitting across from her at breakfast that I felt might knock me down. It's almost like I have to stand up and balance myself so the pain can keep going and then it dissipates or whatever. But I had one while sitting there, and Keith Ray was talking about a girl with a big dick. Or he was talking about one of his bits or whatever, and Delaney was just kind of going okay or whatever, and I was going, oh, this might be the big one. This is the big one, but I didn't say anything to her.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, yeah. It just kind of it's almost like you look like that. Did you see DeSantos when they asked him in Japan if he was running for president? It was like my face just kind of does a weird like because I think it's embarrassing to be dying in public or to think you might just it's like, I'm sorry everybody, pardon my
pain. Did you say anything to the doctor about that?
No, pain? I forgot all about it when he gave me the go ahead.
Because it could be. I mean, look, the whole thing with you had that valve that wasn't working because of the tumor you had in your gallbladder or whatever. It wasn't, and that was causing you all that burning, and because the proper amount of whatever sort of acid wasn't being dumped onto your food. Right. So I mean, there still could be some sort of because of the physical alterations to your gut. It might just be a natural, like, hey, every once in a while, this old car engine is going to backfire. It's not thing we can really do about it. You're not going to win any Formula One races with this engine, but it'll get you where you need to go. It very well could be something like that.
Yeah, to say it in the stupid speech like Larry would say, and what I say is, I guess my reconfigured guts just aren't lined up right, or whatever. That's what but that's stupid. But I do think having it altered or whatever might make it worse. And I didn't read. It gave me a fucking whole, bunch of shit to read. And like, fuck you, man. I can't even put together something that says 3 steps. I don't even read
stop signs, bro.
Yeah. I feel like signs are up for interpretation and you're giving me a binder. Fucking shit.
You just got to find the workaround. Maybe you just got to put your thumb up your butt when you drink your Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Well, I could do a suppository, jam one of those up and then do
but
I think part of it is those
Dr. Pepper suppository. I've never heard of those.
They do Dr. Pepper peach.
What do they call
it? You put a peach.
ButtChuggin when the kids now are ButtChuggin drinks.
Wait, you hanging out with kids and they're pouring drinks?
I know all about it.
Oh no, that's because of them cross dressers putting on them shows. Well, now the kids are doing it. And they think litter boxes. What I'd like to do is I wouldn't hang out with somebody who would think that people at school actually do shit in litter boxes. But if you met somebody who believed that, it would be so fun to shit in their litter box. They had, like a human-sized shit in their box. Go, yeah, man, it might have been one of them at-risk kids.
That looks like Andy at the desert party.
Yep.
Oh, damn it.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's so jarring when that happens, Chaille.
Sorry.
I think it's
go from one extreme to another.
ButtChugging, is that what it's called? Is that what you Googled?
ButtChugging, yeah.
Definitely butt.
It gets you fucked up. It'll kill you.
Oh yeah,
straight into your bloodstream.
A lot of absorption takes place in the
You'll
intestine.
fuck yourself up bad.
It seems like
don't butt chug. Just chug, kids. Just chug. Don't butt chug. Regular.
It seems like with all the cocaine, allegedly that's been used over the years by some of us in this fourplex, it's like, it's just fucking why not? Maybe next time when you guys, if we're down members and we need to get rid of drugs, I'll just maybe jam some up there and have some working knowledge. Why not?
I mean, it's also another option. If you get the bad cancer diagnosis and you can't afford a wingsuit, you could just fucking strip down, jam it in, and we'll just start pouring stuff in there.
What if you found out your asshole was a tweaker? Like your brain's like, no, man, we can't do any of this, but your asshole's just like, nope, get some drugs, get some drugs.
Oh man.
That's a hell of a way to get a buzz.
Yeah.
You gotta really hate the taste of alcohol.
Well, that's why I wasn't. I would have liked to have explored with that port a little bit. I mean, if I had to have something in my body, it's like, I'll jam something. But it's all like hardcore. Those injection drugs. They don't have. What's a fun injection drug? There really isn't one. It's all too serious.
Yeah, exactly right. There's no. It's not about having a fun party. It's about
now that I'm over the hump on needles. I wish that needle drugs were better. But shouldn't there be like a synthetic, injectable like ecstasy or
something that makes you dance.
I'm going to talk to Big Pharma.
I thought like the autoerotic asphyxiation was an embarrassing coroner's report for your family, but I think this one would probably top it.
Yeah. And it would be something embarrassing that you put in there too, like, oh yeah, he butt chugged a 12-pack of Bush Light.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, he's a Keystone.
That's
man, it wasn't even something fucking exotic and cool.
Yeah, it's not even like an IPA or something, fat tire.
Something
if you're gonna put beer on your asshole, I would just go with the fucking that thicker, like a Guinness, a pint of Guinness.
Nice Guinness in
if
there.
it flows back out, it's gonna, it's not gonna do you any problems.
I remember listening to the Howard Stern show a while back. It was a long time ago, and Richard Christie did like they poured different beers in his ass, and he identified which ones they were. And he was really fucking accurate with it.
Huh. He's
Does
got
he
a
have- how did
Come on. There's no connection.
you have to have taste buds in your
I was gonna
asshole.
say he's
You
got
can
a
swirl it
good
around.
palate, but that ain't the palate.
Let it breathe.
Yeah, it's got a
No
fruity head.
way.
Wait a minute. That
Wait
fruit.
a minute. This is another Schlitz.
He was like, "Oh, this is the coffee beer."
Did you guys have Stroh's back in the
yeah,
day?
yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Stroh's.
that. Was my go-to. The beers.
That's
we
That's
just-
a cheap one, yeah.
it's a past blue ribbon
How
product.
cool would it have been if I could go back to 1984 instead of like shotgunning a beer? Go, hang on, guys. I got something you ain't gonna fucking believe.
Check this out.
Or that, yeah, shotgun up your asshole.
Oh,
So you want to wait? So you want to use the hot tub time machine to go back and be the kid who invents butt chugging?
But chugging,
Legendarily?
but shotgun. Do they do it like shotgun in a beer? That'd be.
I don't think you're sipping it, bro. I think it's pretty much got to go all in at once.
Well, I mean, there's
Okay.
look at the picture right here.
Yeah.
There's no
Look,
hold on, let me
basically-
catch my
Yeah.
breath.
I think it'd be-
Basically, you go, check this out, guys. It's like, check it out. You do a keg stand, but watch this.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
it is.
Open
was
your
thinking-
mouth.
Yeah.
It's
While
cool.
you're doing a keg stand,
What would be incredible is if you
Relax.
could do that. If you could do that trick right there, and then as you were upside down and you did open your mouth, it started to pour out of your mouth and down
Mhm.
your face and onto the floor. That would be an incredible trick.
I mean, it looks like fun if you have the right people to drink with. I don't know if I'd want, Hey,
Yeah.
Stanhope, let's drink a beer.
Yeah.
You really got to make sure you get rid of those empties too.
Yeah.
You don't want those
Oof.
half beers
Oh.
laying around.
Yeah. You'd want to rinse those or just
No, just right,
but
right in the fire.
that's what it kind of gives you hope for the next generation. It's like there's no mask or no gloves there, and they're
Right.
they're not.
That's why COVID didn't touch them.
Mhm.
I mean, are you kidding me?
that looks like
They've been
dye.
ass
I
eating
think
and
she
butt
might be
chugging for-
dyeing it. But it might be bleaching her asshole. That doesn't even.
That's
look
a
like
girl
alcohol.
getting. That's a girl getting the
Oh
drink.
yeah.
in her ass.
Yeah.
But like back in our day, we'd try to put our dicks up a lady's asshole, and this is if you're gonna do something to a teenage or anybody's asshole, it'd be like that's a nicer thing to put in their asshole than your dick. I mean, you think about it, what's
You're
the
not
worst
wrong
thing?
there.
What is the worst thing you could put in an asshole? Probably a penis or a rotten
Yeah.
cucumber. Or
I mean,
cucumber,
you're really talking someone into something here. No?
a cucumber with maggots. That'd be the worst.
All right.
I mean, if we're gonna dissect this picture, she has probably the best person administering the chugging.
Mhm.
She looks very intent on doing a good job.
Right.
She's
Well,
not like
listen,
goofing
girls are gonna do horrible things to each other in a
yeah.
much sweeter and friendlier way, in a
Yeah,
more
yeah.
inclusive way.
That's
The
why
first
it
picture
seems.
you showed of the dudes was they got a beer bong
Yeah.
and fucking they were like, and let's all be staring directly at each other with a 1,000-yard stare while this happens. I think that might
Yeah.
even be Steve-O.
Not to
what I was saying. I
mention,
think that's
the next
Steve-O.
person who shows up at the party is probably going to be told to do a regular beer bong. Look at
Right. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
that next time
correct.
someone hands
Yeah.
you a beer bong at a
And that's
festival.
that definitely is Steve-O. So now there's your
Uh-huh. So yeah, he's doing it. That's the beer. Yeah, the beer bong would probably be. I wouldn't want to do the can.
Well, that's how you butt chug though, is with a beer bong.
Uh-huh.
That's
Huh.
The whole point is that you pour it in,
Well, I'm interested. I mean, not in doing it, but just hearing accounts of it or whatever.
That's why
How
I
did you
bet
catch that was Steve-O?
just by his face. And I remember that was in
See it
Oh.
now.
it's in one of the
That's probably-
Jackass. It's in one of the Jackass movies. In fact, that's probably how I know about it.
Is that like if you say you butt chugged a few beers and then you're driving the car and got pulled over, you wouldn't the blow and go, that blow thing wouldn't mind, so you'd be
I don't know.
Drunk.
Oh, whoa.
wow.
Oh.
Steve, you know who it's popped out of Steve-O's asshole.
What a trick.
And
Oh,
speaking of
shit.
Canadian assholes.
Ah.
Oh man, I thought they broke up.
They did break up. I told Frank, if you go back to her, Frank, you're gonna regret it the rest of your life.
Yeah, stay with us, Frank. You don't need that bitch.
I says, just pull the Band-Aid off, Frank. Get rid of the scab. She's gonna.
She won't cross this street with you. She won't cross any streets with you, bro.
Yeah, I think they were out
Yeah,
here
they're gone
about
already.
a year ago.
We walked them.
From this. I'm thinking about going down there and participating in the marathon again as a unsanctioned monitor. No, I might go watch it. It's a Sunday.
Oh.
But, last year, Frank, and that was like one of my big outings in chemotherapy.
Participating.
It sounded like you were really going to celebrate being cancer free.
Last year, when Frank and Tara were here, we were standing by watching the marathon, and I took off running with this group, and it's like, come on, man, you're not I'm not
Yeah.
It might have been funny 5 years earlier. Now it's just like sad, and people are like, I couldn't make. I was like, 40, 50 feet at the most. It was terrible.
Well, I'm glad you could probably make 100 feet.
Yeah, I just want to go. I'd go get an eyeful of women Sunday morning.
I mean, yeah, let's be honest. That's kind of what you shot
But,
last time.
well, that's what I
look. There's
Marathon.
nothing sexier than marathoners, male and female. Those are the sexiest bodies you want to take.
Oh, you look at it. You look at like what's that?
Front of the pack.
But if you look at like women our age or whatever as a group or whatever, it goes all the way from grandma to still hot, and the ones that are the hot are the hikers and the outdoors running stuff.
But the ones that are hot are not the ones running marathons. They're the ones running 5Ks. The people who are running marathons have
oh my
turned
god
their body into a marathon body, which is not a particular.
And you're not seeing their feet either.
Curvy.
No. There's not a lot of big titted that'd be you could have a marathon and just be like the D cup trot or whatever, but mainly they're the more you run, the smaller your breasts get, I think. Does Erickson get offended and leave?
I think that's it.
You.
Not sure.
Fuck you.
Sounded muffled. I think somebody kidnapped him.
Ooh, that's a good joint I got here. Part of Larry's 420 packet that went missing. It's funny, he's at like that 420, that was a while ago. He's had an ounce of weed with edibles and multiple joints missing, and he thought it was under a pile of garbage in his car, and a week later he hadn't actually done the detective work.
Didn't this happen to Erickson before?
So where'd you find it?
I think remember his computer wasn't charging, and he didn't know that, and then it just completely shut down. He just texted me something happened, man.
He's got 6.5 days a week to charge his computer.
Yeah, I know.
And then he motherfucker chooses this time.
So I texted to see if he's coming back. We can close up.
Yeah, I always enjoy going down to Coos County for those quick visits. It's
that's Larry.
Well, go see Larry, and just the South Coast is kind of special, but I also kind of hate it. But it's just, to me, it's a lot of white trash idiot redneck people down there. But it's also, lately people are retiring there, so it's people are from like different parts of the state are moving to Coos Bay, so it's like kind of a white trash gentrification slowly turning down there. But it's just, I love fucking being able to go to the beach on a sunny day, and I've always enjoyed the coast. They always, it's like it never grows up, it just gets worse.
Is that where your nude beach is down there?
Any beach in Oregon's a nude beach, but I don't think there's a nude beach. I mean, I think there's some on rivers. No, the Glass Bar's on a river.
Glass Bar, that's what it is. That's a river, yeah.
But it's always like, you can tune in and they're playing the music you listen to in high school, and not in an ironic or, we're playing oldies. It's like I heard Heaven from Bryan Adams, Aldo Nova Fantasy, Night Rain.
Oh, yeah.
Night Ranger, that the up tempo one that wasn't the and then the guy got on and they just said we'll continue in with music, not like, hey, music from back in the day. So like you're driving there and the same fucking set list or like a mixtape from your days is like it's like, that's why I was thinking about if I could go back in time. It's like if I just come to and I'm driving a Mazda GLC, what would I do? I'd go round up all my brothers and we'd have a family meeting. Fucking you fuckers better listen to this shit because I've come from the future. We're gonna start drinking beers with our assholes.
You know that when I was in Austin last, I was driving around listening to the radio, and just on a regular like rock station, and they're playing like lots of Led Zeppelin. And not like on a, hey, Jimmy Page died, we're gonna play a bunch of. It was like every day there were numerous Zeppelin songs, which I liked. The fact that it seemed like this was like me in junior high listening to
yeah. It's like funny how especially like a song maybe that you just they played. Who sings that? Don't Talk to Strangers? Isn't that a Rick Springfield B-side shit? But it's just like that song for whatever reason is like I had clear memory of driving and playing that cassette or whatever. Not that clear that I remember if that's who did the song or whatever. But it
Talk to Strangers,
like it wasn't even, I think that was a Rick Springfield, but it's like
Rick Springfield.
Yeah, the music they play is like B-sides of shit, like Bryan Adams' Heaven, I guarantee you, is only on soft rock stations, but then they play Aldo Nova, It's a Fantasy, which in my opinion is a soft rock. Fantasy.
Yeah. Fantasy life.
But it's like, I'm like, if a DJ would have come on there and talked about, the Kokio Red Devils, they take action against Reedsport in 1984. I mean, I could have easily just like, this has all been a fucking dream. It's like the ending of the second Newhart show. Wake up and I'm back in Kokio driving on the thing going, shit, man. I like some people go, I wouldn't change a thing. I would fucking, boy, oh boy, would we fucking make some changes. Like, here we go.
There'd be 3 different people on this podcast with him. That's for fucking.
Yeah,
hey, we're going to get a van and we're going to move someplace flat because the old man can't walk. How about that?
And he's making all the decisions at 13 for the house.
Yeah. Let me go to the store.
Well,
I'll go get that shit at Safeway.
I don't know what portion I missed. I mean, obviously, but it seems like when I left, Andy was talking about traveling back in time and becoming.
Well, I kind of finished the thought.
So I assume that this is what's happened. He's traveled back in time. He's become famous for butt chugging, and now he's got all this money and influence, and now he's changing things. He's moving his family out of.
I'm convincing my brothers to butt chug.
Coaching, you're a butt chugging coach.
But I said, like, I was listening to the radio down there. It just puts you into that headspace of 19. It's like at one point they said playing the music of yesterday. I was like, but this is my fucking specific yesterday. You're not throwing any 90s. You're not throwing anything. It's all like a 2-year period of music. And then I was thinking, fucking go back in time there, and there would be a lot of fucking. Yeah, I'd be like, get rid of those clothes, dude. You look like an asshole. Hey, don't stand like a faggot. I'm sorry to use that word, but I'm older you, and you're acting like a little faggot.
Well, listen, younger you would have accepted that word as a word that's okay to say. So
I mean, you need to speak in a way that communicates, right? And that would have been it back then.
Yeah, you don't want to sound like a homo.
As Doug said about John Bonet, don't wear the outfits if you're not willing to play the game.
Yeah. All right.
I didn't even make it to Kokio. I mean, I was on the outskirts of it. I didn't. My hometown. That's how I feel about it. I was like, it's 3 miles. Fuck it. I'm not even going in there. Assholes.
Yeah.
But they didn't deserve me. Bandon. They don't know who I am, so I can fit in there and not have anybody. It'd be the worst to be in Kokio and have somebody recognize me, because it wouldn't be from TV or podcast fame. I'd be like, and then somebody who'd be like, hey, you look familiar. And then it'd be like, fucking run that Rolodex, because there's probably somebody here who would throw a cheap shot at me. I'd throw a cheap shot at me if I could. If I saw, hey, listen up, you little peckerhead. You think this is cool? I'd be the abusive fucking entity that would send me to therapy years later. This guy wouldn't shut up and he kept fucking making me butt chug beers.
Oh god damn. This has been a workout for me. I feel like I've done an ab workout. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna get the bongos out and we'll finish this drum.
Yeah, let's actually hear some drums. I'd love to. Let's fucking go out strong.
We would say let's hear some more drums, but we haven't heard any yet.
We haven't heard any yet, so
I'm gonna have to move this.
oh, there you go. That's a good setup right there.
Well, it's a tippy fucking thing.
You got to hit the thing in the middle, I think. Maybe. Try to hit the
that's.
middle.
Oh, you did hit a rim shot on that.
God damn, I
Seriously, are you really hitting that thing?
It's not.
my rhythm sucks so bad. It's like
You wouldn't know.
it's like
It's
Elaine
an
Bennett's
eardrum.
dancing.
I think it might be shutting his mic down.
The mutes it. Yeah. It's
Oh, wait, hold on.
automatic
He's-
mute.
I like to play.
Automatic mute. What kind of
He just
bullshit?
touched that mic and didn't make any sound on the mic. I think he's on his.
But if
his,
he was
laptop
talking
mic.
before, talk while you drum. Oh, we heard that. I can barely hear that.
Yeah, see,
Talk while you're talk.
Andy, talk while you're drumming.
Left, right, left, right.
No,
No, while you drum.
That's why he's not talking. He can't talk and drum at the same time.
I'm gonna do some.
left, right,
I'm gonna do some homework.
left, right, left, right, left.
Tune in next week on Patreon for lesson 2. Yeah, no, I'm having bad flashes of David and his drum lessons and
My
shit.
God.
It's embarrassingly
Next
like
episode, right, left, right, left, right.
you know what? I didn't learn the hokey pokey correctly. When you were supposed to do the ride, I was like, "What? How do we start again?" or whatever. And then I never really got that whole thing. And everybody else they had it down. And they knew it.
I mean, I think we're getting a clue as to why he's unable to read or follow directions.
And I
This
had
all happened way back with the
Yeah,
hokey
it goes all the
pokey.
way
I
back.
have provable problem with skipping from back. Not. I mean, I had a problem with skipping later in a different way, but physically, a teacher made a note that I couldn't skip. Like one, it's kind of like one foot in front of the other with a little dance step or whatever.
Yeah, skip.
I can do it now. I use that determination and that hate that teacher gave me, and I do.
Yeah, you showed her.
15 to
I
20
couldn't
feet.
skip till late either, Andy.
Yeah, and you got to be kind of a bit of a Nancy or a bit of a Chaille.
That's right.
That's what I
skipper.
felt dumb doing it, but then you just kind of a little lilt in your
Yeah,
kilt,
I don't need to skip. Don't you see the way I stand?
I mean, that's when you're the freest. It's when you're a kid.
Skipping.
And skipping is a thing that you don't think is something.
Till somebody
Yeah.
calls you queer or what,
Well, I mean, yes, but you'd have to know what a queer is.
But if you're just-
I did.
if you're a kid and
I
you're
got
skipping,
called one, man.
Yeah.
Punched, right.
you go skipping around and people are gonna call you out on it.
I'm not talking about 7th grade, Andy. I'm talking about
In
when
life.
you're in preschool.
If I couldn't
Who's
go to the
calling
mall
you a
right now,
queer in
if I went to
preschool?
the mall
they're
right now and skip
preschoolers.
from one end to the other, people would be nervous, and some people might call me use hate speech. Look at that faggot going by. What's that? They may not yell it at you, but it would make people uneasy. Whereas I think people used to walk by skipping. That was, I think.
That was the mode of
yeah,
travel.
back in the
How long until you get here? Well, I'll be skipping, so it won't be
Yeah.
as if I'm running
the
or I'm
cavemen
walking.
skip.
So
the
sooner
cavemen-
or later.
It would skip places.
The dime store is a 10-minute skip from here. So
Yeah.
I'll skip there and then I'll swing on by the gym, skip home.
Swing on by. How fast is that?
How come there's not a?
What is that
Swinging's even faster.
What does
than
that even
skipping.
look like?
Well, once you've skipped, swinging's the next step, bro.
I wish I would have known that because I think I would
Literally the next step.
I think I would have preferred doing some swinging, but I didn't get the skipping down. So
Well,
no,
yes, because the rest of your friends were learning the hokey pokey, you were being hokey poked.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's true. I was
That's
getting
what it's
something.
all about.
Yeah, I got
That's what
something
it's all
put in.
about, man.
I don't
turn
know that it
yourself
got.
around. No, not all the way.
What do
Green
you do?
lights and
What do
hokey
you-
pokies.
What are you doing? Shaking it all about in my asshole? Now I could go back and I could be like, hey man, if you're gonna be fiddling with my asshole, would you at least do the decency of pouring a beer up there? I'm a little uneasy with this up top, and I know my asshole's nervous.
Yeah, let it have a drink.
And I was drinking a little Jack Daniels in the day. So that can you boo for hard? I bet you can boo for the hard.
Boofing, that's what it's called.
Yeah,
Boofing.
yeah.
I think that's hard liquor, though.
Yeah, you probably got to go easy with that.
It's called boofing. Well, see, you knew about it the whole time, Andy. I
I'll
knew
boo-
there was a term
I'll
for
boof
that.
that
Andy
part.
only has part of it.
Yeah, it's like the keys to the fucking nuclear codes. Each one of us has a little piece of information.
Well, we got to bring our fucking beer bong out to the desert. And we'll have a contest winner that can come out. Hey, Chase
I
Holtzman,
guarantee anyone who listens to this will never grab the end of a beer bong again without thinking,
That's
was
how
this someone's ass?
Listen, totally. That's how we'll fucking figure out who the newbies are.
Yeah,
We got-
they'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
Oh no, the rest of us aren't doing it.
No,
one's
no,
just here to
no.
watch
No,
you.
no,
You did
no,
it
just-
before you got here.
no, it's the setup, just like you were saying before. It's like, oh no, yeah, do a beer bong, dude. And anyone who's willing to, put that in their mouth clearly isn't part of
And then,
the
hey,
Sandy crew, because that's not where that goes. We're
we-
fucking ass chuggers.
And we know
Everybody-
you've been a fan of the podcast, so we included a little extra in that. Some of my brother Larry's ashes are now in your asshole. Do you feel connected to the show yet?
Larry's not dead. We just emptied his ashtrays.
Larry's ashes. Oh. Oh fuck! I think this might be a perfect
I
episode.
think feels like a closer.
I
Yeah,
have about
man.
10 titles, so
Oh
it's gonna be longer for me
What a
to
good one.
find a title than to edit.
You better run them past the Canadians. Where are you off to next, Chaille?
We're in Toronto for a night off tonight, but Friday night we'll be doing the Danforth Music Hall. Still tickets available.
We have a lot of fans in Danforth, so go
Yeah, we do.
go forth.
The Danforth
Yeah.
Army.
It's the biggest show is the Danforth, and
Nice.
yeah, we had Montreal last night. It was great, and
Oh wow!
then we've got a bunch of comedy clubs. We've got Rumors Comedy Club in Winnipeg. Then we've got the Comic Strip in Edmonton at the Mall of America.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We've got the Laugh Stop in Calgary at Blackfoot Hotel, and then a day drinking show in Vancouver. And then the last show is at the Rio Theater, general admission, tickets still available in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Nice.
And that,
Is Edmonton still in the hockey playoffs? I know Tracy was watching the other night.
I don't
maybe
know,
go to
'cause I just saw I don't know who's I think there's only one game tonight, but and it's not Edmonton. I think Edmonton, they did win last game.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe
Yeah,
you
because
can
it was
go to
4-4
playoff
near
game.
the end, and then they went into overtime. And Doug told me that they did pull it off, which is
That's
uncharacteristic for Edmonton.
Yeah, it's exciting though.
Yeah.
they've been mentioned in the playoffs for years, right? Edmonton.
Well,
no,
man,
it's been a while.
Gretzky's team.
That's Gretzky's team, but they haven't been.
They've been terrible since Gretzky left. Essentially, it's exciting.
And
stuff.
I've been having a bunch of people come by the booth listening to the podcast Issues with
That's
Andy.
great.
So
Well, that's
happy to.
fantastic.
I haven't worked a merch booth in a long time,
Oh
and
man,
I'm
yeah.
doing it now because Tracy's still in comedy mothership. So it is. It's a little odd, but
Yeah.
taken back
Sorry
to
about that, bro.
That's
Look,
all right.
Actually, I don't mean to extend this podcast too much longer, but I do have to say one thing to my friend Ggreg Chaille. Dude, fuck off. Every single day, Tracy Burnett gets some sort of card or some sort of package from her fucking loving husband, boyfriend, just to let her know that he's thinking of her every fucking day. And I have to be the guy in the house with other women who are like, oh, isn't that so fucking sweet?
Yeah.
And I've got like a fucking fork full of spaghetti I'm trying to eat after a long day's work. And I'm like, everyone's looking at me and I'm like, what the fuck did I do? She's like,
he's auditioning to every woman in the room.
I did think about that. I go, this is a pretty good fuck you to Erickson.
It is a solid fuck
yeah.
you.
So I think I'm doing more for that than Tracy. Don't tell her though.
Carrie Mitchell just looks at me with that fucking, when you know she's a beauty, but when she furrows her little Irish brow, you know you're fucking on the receiving end right now.
Hey, tell her go work in another state. See if it works out for you.
Yeah.
I'll send you a fucking card every day, baby.
Yeah.
If you just get away from me, I'll miss you.
Yep.
How can I miss you if you won't ever leave?
We don't have to do that stuff, baby. You know how I feel about you.
I tried that already. It didn't work.
I got the best system in place of anybody, and I didn't realize it, but I ain't got to say happy birthday, got my no fucking gifts, got a Christmas, none of that shit.
I do envy that.
You know, yeah, I didn't realize that's the only thing that's cool about the Jehovah's Witnesses is they eliminate some of the. I don't think they say bless you when you sneeze. It's like, okay,
oh, even better.
Dead space. I like it. Yeah, I never.
Right on.
Space.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right.
I don't know if you guys have been watching anything exciting. I'm still just trying to stay up with Succession, which is
Succession. I'm caught up on Succession. Run. And if you do watch Succession, I want to say this. If you do watch Succession and you're into it, go on YouTube. There are so many like dissecting of the episodes that is so rich. And so like people that have nothing to do with their lives are pouring over every detail. And it is interesting, whether it's bullshit or not. I do enjoy watching it.
There was an article in The Guardian after episode 1 of this final season that was so great, and it was about fashion. And you know, this is something I would have absolutely no interest in, but its connection to Succession was so fucking great. And it was the scene from episode 1 where Logan was having his birthday party and Ggreg brought that date, and Tom was making fun of her for having that gigantic bag. And he was like, oh my God, look at the fucking size of that bag. She could take it camping. And then he did the joke where he said, you could push that bag across the floor after a bank heist. Like, that is a fucking great line. And the point of this story was that it's true in the way they handle fashion. Like, that's a Burberry bag, which is super expensive. But it's new money fashion, like old money. Really rich people think of Burberry as like Walmart shit. And Tom's progression through the show has been, he was the fucking new guy who was impressed by all that shit, and now he's made it up to the level of fucking, you know, recognizing. And they also do the whole thing of the fashion on the show, how like really rich people would never wear Burberry and that plaid design because it's gaudy.
Old money would not.
Old money would not. What they like to do is they spend tons of money to buy sweaters and shirts that look exactly like regular sweaters and shirts. You have to know it cost $1,000. Like, that's what makes it cool, is that there's no discernible way to tell. That's how fucking rich they are. Like, it was a fascinating story. And Chaille, it's exactly what you're talking about. Like, there's so many layers to this show that
stuff you would not even think was important.
Right.
To a storyline is contextually like,
it's all part of
like
it.
The detail is so deep.
Yeah,
and that's just, and you're just talking about fashion here. There's other things with the way they act and stuff like that.
Yeah, one tiny piece of one episode was this whole, you know, thing that I dove into.
You feel smarter for hearing all those, you know, the people. It's like, oh yeah, and then I watch them a couple of times and go back and.
It's great.
I didn't even see in the last one when
spoilers,
I'm one behind.
I'm one behind. The newest one to watch.
I'm one behind.
The newest one is really good.
I'm one behind. So
okay, I got a recommendation.
All right.
Exhausting Lover. It's just a video from Ben Folds, but I find it very amusing, and
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
It's just a 3-minute video, 4 minutes.
Well, Squeaky Tiki posted it on Twitter. That might be where you saw it. That's where I saw it.
Yeah.
He's a big Ben Folds fan, and I am too. And it's a funny song. It's directed by the guy who did Drunk History. So it's done in Drunk History fashion, where it's a Ben Folds funny storytelling song.
Yeah.
So it's acted out by people who are like lip syncing his words, like Drunk History style. But there is it's about hooking up with this girl who is an exhausting lover. Like she just keeps wanting to have sex last hours and hours and hours, and he just can't do it. And it's got a great line in there that like hurt me to a point, because it said every kiss is like a jam band solo, and I was like, oh, that's a fucking,
when you told me that,
that's a great line.
I hadn't quite that part of the song. I didn't pick up what he was saying in that. But
it's
funny, and just the way he sets it up, and then it goes this. What would you do? I wrote a musical about it, and then
yeah, right on. Good for you, Andy. I like that you're getting into Ben Folds too. He's fucking great.
He's a nerd who looks like Stanhope, kind of a bit.
I think it's maybe.
Well,
It's an old guy. Is that
I
what
don't know if you guys remember, but Ben Folds was the guy I was watching in the pandemic every Saturday night. He would do his live.
Oh, that's right. He was doing live shows.
Yeah, he would just put the camera above his piano and just live stream and play songs and shit. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. I fucking loved it. Love that
he's
guy.
a bit of a musical genius.
That he's very, very good for sure.
All right, that's it.
I started watching the Righteous Gemstones. But I started pretending they were the characters from Succession. So it's just a whole new way of watching the Righteous Gemstones.
It does match up a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Yeah, holy shit.
Adam Devine is the Culkin character. The sister's a bit of a wild card.
Yeah.
Is this an episodic?
Brother.
Yeah, the Righteous Gemstones is.
Oh, you don't know the Righteous
Danny
Gemstones?
McBride.
Chaille? Oh, shit.
No, I've never heard of it.
Oh, dude, it's funny.
It's an
Danny
HBO
McBride's in
comedy.
it.
Yeah,
We've talked
I'm
about
pulling
it.
it up.
yeah. Danny McBride wrote it.
Danny McBride, John Goodman, Adam Devine from Workaholics. They're trying to take over the dad's.
It really is.
He's a televangelist, and they're all
Okay.
They're all angling to get the control and power out from dad.
Yeah, they're the Righteous Gemstones. So there you go. That's a fucking good one. And it is a guy. It does have a good connection. Like Chad, you had mentioned the connection to Arrested Development with Succession, and that Mitchell and I laughed about that all the time. Like this is just it's this, it doesn't quite have the over the top comedy, but the comedy's there. But Righteous Gemstones an even better parallel.
Oh boy, wait till you see Succession. This last one.
Well, I'm excited. I'm going to watch it either tonight or tomorrow.
Leave the Swede.
Alexander Skarsgård is how I see myself when I look in the mirror. So,
good for you. Where do you buy those mirrors?
You just got to keep living, man.
Special effects shop or something?
L-I-V-I-N. It's all up here.
L-I-V-I-N.
All up here.
Chicks dig bongo
Just
players.
get green lights, man. Fuck yeah, dude. Right on.
All right, I got to edit this thing, man. We got to close it.
All right.
I
Thanks
love
for
you
coming
guys.
out. Good night.
He's in the dark.